Fortnite Chapter 7 Battle Pass is going to be very different because at Chapter 7, the shard is going to destabilize and mix realities, bringing different characters from different universes like Harry Potter, SpongeBob, and merge them with our Fortnite storyline characters as well, like the Seven, Geno, Lost Reality. But how is this possible? You see, even though the Chapter 6 storyline feels like it's not tied to our previous chapters, but in reality, Chapter 6 is in fact Part 3 of this huge storyline that is happening. And Part 2 is basically Chapter 4, and Part 1 is the second half of Chapter 3. And why just the second half of Chapter 3 is because Donald Mustard left during Chapter 3, Season 3. And all of the storyline after that, from Herald to Daigo, is written by the new creative director. But if Chapter 3 is Part 1, Chapter 4 is Part 2, and Chapter 6 is Part 3. And what about Chapter 7? Well, Chapter 7 is going to be the finale, where everything is going to make sense, including the arrival of characters like Harry Potter, SpongeBob, James Bond. And it's all going to happen because of this shard. But how did this shard end up here? And how is this going to change everything and take us to Chapter 7 and bring characters like Harry Potter? Well, it all began when this creature showed up on the island. Now, if you guys did not play back in Chapter 3, this is Herald. She showed up on the island with one mission, which is to steal the 0 point. But she can't just show up and take the 0 point, because at the time it was being guarded by the Seven. But Herald is very smart. She knew that the Imagine Order had just been defeated by the Seven. And since everyone was celebrating, no one had a clue that this creature was planning an attack. The very first thing she does is she attacks the Seven's base. Using her Chrome abilities, she corrupts most of the members of the Seven. And we all saw this happening. Watch this.
We've already lost so much of the island to that Chrome.
That's not surprising given the sample's behavior. I've never seen such accelerated cytokinesis. Whoa! I'm starting to think this may be a problem.
Get out of here! That's an order!
This isn't how it ends.
Suit integrity compromised.
There has to be a way to fix this.
Aligning to reality. 6, 5, 9.
And if the Seven couldn't defeat her, normal people like these had no chance. And this footage that you're watching happen at the end, a live event, you can see she completely just obliterates everyone. Now, like I mentioned, she wanted the 0 point, but at the time it was hidden. Rather than finding the 0 point, what does she do? She completely turns everything on the island into chrome and then blows it up completely. And there you go, she got what she wanted. The 0 point is now out in the open. And at this moment, it is revealed who is she working for. It is the Lost Reality, because as seen in this trailer, you can see the giant mothership of the Lost Reality try to kidnap the 0 point, but completely fail. And this is actually the beginning of Chapter 6 storyline. Watch this. And this was the very last time we saw the 0 point as a whole, because the next time we see it was during Chapter 2 Remix live event, when kids were busy looking at Ice Spice, always looking at the sky, because this giant comet was headed straight towards Fortnite. And then in Chapter 6, it crash landed on the Oninoshima Island. When we landed on the island, we all thought we were going to see the 0 point on the map. And even though the crater was there, the 0 point shard was missing. Now, at the time, we did not know who took the 0 point shard, but we did not have to wait long to find out because of this character called Daigo. Daigo was a mask maker, just like his father and his ancestors before him. Daigo tells us that the magic that has been brought to the island because of this comet, he's going to use it to go to this place known as the Spirit Realm. And if you don't know, Spirit Realm is a place where demons live. So he uses this old broken mask called Mask of Power. He fixes it using magic. And the reason why this mask is so important because a human can only enter the Spirit Realm using this Mask of Power. But before he could try the mask, his sister Jade steals the mask and uses it to enter the Spirit Realm. And unfortunately, she ends up getting captured as well by this demon known as Shogun X. And then Daigo does something that he shouldn't do because it's extremely dangerous. Using magic, he pulls Jade out of the Spirit Realm. But there's one small problem: you have to fight Shogun X. And that is exactly what he does. Watch this. You see, Daigo knew this battle was going to happen. That's why he was prepared, because he came with these special daggers made from tiny pieces of the 0 point, and he uses it to defeat Shogun X. And after being released, Jade reveals everything from the Spirit Realm to this creature known as the Dark Presence. And she also reveals that he has the 0 point shard. Now, this all makes sense why there has been so many weird things happening on the island, like the arrival of this giant creature, Godzilla, King Kong as well. These are creatures from different realities, and the only time we have seen multiple characters from different realities show up was because of the 0 point. And after knowing this information, Daigo starts to create a plan to enter the Spirit Realm and destroy the Dark Presence. But unfortunately, this was the beginning of the downfall of the Oninoshima Island, because he refixes the mask again, and by lying to this character called Fletcher Kane, he reconstructs this portal and enters the Spirit Realm. And thinking Daigo is gone, Big Deal and the Sausage Boy enters Daigo's workshop to steal gold given to Daigo by Fletcher Kane. They discover a dark truth, a glimpse of what happened to Daigo inside of the Spirit Realm. Watch this. That's right, Daigo has been completely corrupted by the Dark Presence. Sends him back to Fortnite with a mission to create a portal powerful enough to bring the Dark Presence to Fortnite. And that is exactly what he does during this event. He tries to open this portal to let the Dark Presence through. As we all know, that completely failed. Yep, it wasn't Hope Jones or us that saved the day. It was a Superman for some reason. Now, throughout the final season, the Dark Presence, rather than creating a portal, decides to destroy the barrier dividing Fortnite and the Spirit Realm. Again, to do this, he uses the power of the 0-point shard. And this is the reason, again, we start to see different things from different realities show up on Fortnite again. Like, for example, this Bart Simpson's treehouse. Now, Agent Jones, using his rift portal, tried to stop the Dark Presence, and for a split second he thought he actually did it, but as we all know, that did not work. The Dark Presence is here in Fortnite. The 0-point shard was literally on his chest, and just before we were teleported away, we managed to get a small piece of the 0-point shard, which is basically a lifeline. We can use it to return back to Fortnite, and that is exactly what we do. And now this is just the beginning. Since it's being used so many times, it will start destabilizing just like it did back in chapter 2 and chapter 3. And because of this, in chapter 7 we will start to see different characters show up on the island. Bunch of rumors suggest characters like Harry Potter, SpongeBob, and some of these will be included in chapter 7 Battle Pass. I will keep you guys updated, so please leave a like, subscribe, and use my code SMJM. Peace out.